All right. This is my second time trying to film this. Holy shit. Um, I just wanted to give a follow up to give you a clear path on how to get proper treatment. Most of you guys are smart enough to figure out your own situation, but I wasn't, and it cost me a lot of time, a lot of heartache for no good reason. Navigating the healthcare system can be a arduous task. It's difficult because um, it is a for-profit institution, and even though the people that work in that institution really do care about saving lives and doing what they went to school for, insurance companies muddle and fuck that up and try to screw you over, that kind of thing. And most people don't give you proper direction on the proper next steps you should take to get the help that you need. So, in order to save you guys some time, hopefully this helps. Um, Primary care physicians are important. I didn't know how important. Matter of fact, I thought they were useless because none of them could really identify my disease or give me the help that I needed. Um, but to be fair, it was a primary care physician that did direct me to a dermatologist. So you start with them. What they are really truly good for is pointing you in the right direction, getting you the referrals that you need to get the help that you need. In my case, uh, the dermatologist was the first step. That's how I got diagnosed. I spent so much time just dealing with nothing but dermatologists because primary care physicians really didn't do anything. Some of them wouldn't even lance the boils that come from the lesions and things of that nature. So I just thought they were useless. Fast forward some years later, I'm at my lowest and I can't take the pain anymore. I'm at the point with the pain where if this doesn't change, I know I'm going to end it. I can't deal with it anymore. It's driving me nuts. You understand the anxiety, the fear, the just not being able to sleep normal at night, or to sit at all, and having to lay on the bed all the time. Everything was weighing heavy on my mind. It was too much. And suicide had become a real fixation. Right, like it just pushed me into this mode where I would constantly plan every detail out. I would just plan out how I'm going to do it, and I'm the type of person who will meticulously plan something and execute it in rapid fashion. That's been me for a good chunk of my adult life. It's how I achieve success in anything that's been relevant in my life. Careful, patient planning, and rapid execution. And so when suicide became the focus, also please forgive the noise. There's somebody cutting their yard outside. I can hear it through my window. Um, I was doing that, and I realized, this is it, man. I got to do something. And when I spoke with my doctor again, they gave me a survey and they asked, I was going to seek radiation treatment, and they asked me, am I depressed and do I have thoughts of suicide? And I just thought that question was the dumbest thing under the sun. Of course I do. And if you were in my circumstances, you would too. Did you lose everything? Are you suffering every goddamn day and every night or every hour? Right? Like, of course I'm thinking about killing myself. Matter of fact, I'm planning it out right now. You hear how crazy that is? Right? When you say it out loud, you hear how that fucking sounds? Like, wild. Just wild. How it sounds for me now to even say the shit, but it's the truth. Um, and they put me in contact with a social worker who told me about pain management. My mama had made mention of pain management. She had researched it. When you're down in the dumps and you think you at your last little bit, you miss details. And it's part of the reason why I didn't jump off head first into what I was about to do because I know that I don't know everything, and I knew that despite all my protests, that I hadn't exhausted everything, and I owed it to myself and to everyone that loved me to do so. And so that's what I was in the process of doing. Uh, in any case, they directed me to mental health centers, and you know Tried to get me referrals into pain clinics. The thing that held that up was my insurance company. United Health are trash. They are absolute garbage. Um, they may help in certain situations, and certain plans might work out. But I'm gonna tell you what these bastards did. They sold me an insurance plan that didn't cover pain management. Uh, didn't cover most of the places in the city. I was ready to seek litigation because I figured if you bastards are gonna kill me, all right, you're gonna play a part in my death. Then let me take from you as much as I can, even if it's a little bit. I'll go broke because I'm gonna die anyway, trying to make sure that y'all pay for y'all part in my death. Um, so I had to change insurance to get to that point. They couldn't, because they couldn't do it. They directed me. Uh, the next step, I had a nurse sit me down and explain to me the best way to handle the situation going forward, because you cannot manage the situation all your own, because the healthcare system is like a labyrinth. It's a maze, and you'll hit roadblocks with your insurance company that you just should not be hitting, because they don't really care about your life. You understand? In order to, you need people to help advocate for you. Uh, so they put me in contact with, Christ Community Healthcare, and I went there and got a primary care physician, and told her exactly where I was coming from. And on the spot, she introduced me to my therapist, uh, who, you know, helped me at the time, and they immediately sent out a referral to a pain management clinic. I had changed my insurance at this point, which took time uh, to actually do, and I made sure this time that the insurance covered pain management. So uh, I did that, and that was Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. Now I have my issues with them too, because all insurance companies are really only out for themselves. They could give a fuck less if you die, right? They'll do anything to minimize your care if it saves them money. And this is all insurance companies. None of them are saints. These people just happen to have coverage for. I live in Memphis for most of the city, so um, that referral changed everything because I was able to get into a pain management clinic, and you have to be detailed in how you explain your pain. You understand? You have to be open and honest, because what you're dealing with there is not just a pain management clinic. You are dealing with the federal government. You understand? They are giving you opioids, and they are very tight and restricted about it because they don't want to create addiction in you, right? And in doing so, sometimes they hamper your medical care. You understand? Uh, it'll truly like dampen your experience. So you have to be detailed. When things are not working for you, you need to be open and honest. And you also have to be realistic about what works and what does not. You know, too much of something to take away pain creates a dependency. You have to be disciplined when you deal with that situation. In any case, uh, not only was my primary care physician able to get me into that pain management clinic, but the therapist that they introduced me to, I started seeing on the regular, and she helped me figure out some of my medical care situation too, and any other referrals I needed, she was happy to get, because she is a medical professional too. Though it's mental health, they can refer me uh, for things. And your mental health plays such a big factor in getting your disability. You understand, because they're gonna have you see a mental health professional when you talk to them. When you apply, part of that application process is going to see a doctor to getting a physical, having them look at you, and dealing with a mental health professional, and they make an assessment. So your mental health is all being documented in your medical records too. When I looked at my medical records from my dermatologist, they were brutal. They recorded everything. You understand, in deep detail. They had pictures of all the wound sites. They had taken excerpts of certain conversations, me breaking down in their offices, crying, the things that I said, the level of depression I had, all of that added up, and it factored into me getting disability and everything else. And forgive me if I'm bouncing around. I'm sorry, but it's really hard to kind of narrow this down. Um, so yeah, you use a primary care physician to get your referrals, to get what you need. But your dermatologist, in my situation, is your main doctor. You need to be dealing with a good dermatologist. And the best way to figure out if you got a good dermatologist is how thorough they are. And what are they checking up on? For me, there were blood tests. There was everything else. And what information are they feeding you? You might reach a plateau where you're just not getting anymore with them. It doesn't mean you dismiss them outright. What it means is you really need to be getting a second opinion too. So more than one dermatologist is always wonderful to deal with. Uh, well, I didn't know that there were dermatologists that specialized in my disease because for so long, uh, none of them really did. To be quite frank with you, there were times where I would I'd deal with a doctor and I would know more about my circumstances than they would, and it blew me away. Like it was just no. So in those circumstances, I knew I need to be fine. I need to be looking for someone else. It's not like they can't catch up. These people are professionals. They will figure shit out. But finding someone that specializes in the disease is a circumstantial. It's a huge boon. All right, it's something that you should really be focusing on when you're dealing with this. Your health is everything. It is your life. So finding someone that specializes in it, even if you got to run through 100 of them, is worth it. The mistake I made was assuming that no one specialized, and toward the end of this bout, um, before I got put in remission, I found a dermatologist that these folks specialize in it. Not only did they know everything I know, but they taught me new things too. Like that was a tremendous thing. Uh, the only other thing I could tell you is that you have to be your biggest advocate. You have to fight for it and be open and honest about everything. I talked about suicide as much as I could because I knew I need to process it. I need to understand why I was so comfortable with it. Even though I know what it is talking about it help. Uh, Sometimes you get reassurance. You get just love from people. Uh, that'll make you think twice and keep you pushing forward. Um, Little things, little extra kindness sometimes would make me think of my family and how much I didn't want to hurt them for my actions. That it was worth it to endure, not just for me, but for the people that cared about me. You know what I mean? You imagine pouring all your time into a human being to raise them, all for them to give up and end it right there. Like that's a lot. Um, the only other thing I can tell you is just don't give up, even when you want to. Just don't do it. Don't give up at all. Fight that shit until you simply can't anymore. You know, I knew how bad my situation was when the urge to do it would sometimes overweigh my common sense. I knew I had a problem then. Uh, Sometimes for me, I'm fortunate. I have people that love me and care for me that have my back no matter what. Who just would not, they just simply would not. Even when it got on the nerves, would not let me quit. Everybody does not have that. And the only thing I can tell you is, man, perseverance and strength of will, man. They'll get you through anything. Oh, the only other thing I can say after that, because the biggest thing was just the primary care physician. Uh, Painkillers don't necessarily rid you of all the pain, and marijuana itself will, on a scale of 1 to 10, between 1 and 7, uh, will act as a mild painkiller. That's why I say it works because it does. Um, and it might not be the same for everyone, but for most people, yeah, it works. So it's kind of horseshit that I have to, or anyone would have to like jump through hoops to go get it. It's not addictive, right? There's no reason why I shouldn't be able to smoke it. It's insane. Uh, it does help. So do not hesitate to do whatever it takes to get it. And that's the other thing. And being the biggest advocate for you, be willing to do whatever it takes to get rid of the pain. As long as it's not to your long term detriment, whatever it takes. Um, Fight that shit because that's what you're doing. You in a war, man. It's a whole battle for your survival, and this is hampering that, right? Um, I guess the other thing I could say. I guess that's it. I jumped around so much in this video. I do apologize for that, and I hope that I was able to convey what I'm trying to convey. I don't think I'm gonna make another one unless you know people actually watch this shit and decide to ask me questions. I am happy to answer. Uh, I'm not trying to make any money. I just can't have it sit on my conscience um, that I got help, you know, but for so long I didn't know how to get help properly to deal with the situation. Other people might not know too, and some of them might be taking their lives right now. And you know, uh, I said nothing and I did nothing about it. I can't go to sleep at night thinking that, and wake up every morning and look at myself in the mirror and be like, "Oh, I got help. I don't care about anyone else." That's just no one deserves to suffer like that. No one. Oh, one more thing. The other thing I can tell you is that stress plays a huge factor in outbreaks. So the more stressed I was, the worse the outbreaks became. As a matter of fact, it's the number one contributing factor, I think, to my deterioration. I worked a very stressful job. I was a controls engineer. Um, and it's intense and it's demanding, and you question yourself all the time. Um, and the hours can be insane. So, for all the money they pay, they work you like a damn slave. It's just that simple. Because there's so few of us that do that work. In any case, stress, you want to minimize that. Like, you have to really realize that you need to be sitting your ass down, man. Chilling out. And if you got a hobby, you need to be pursuing that, you know, because you need to minimize as much stress as possible. Anxiety, panic attacks, and get that. So, anyway, hopefully this helped. Um, yeah, that's it. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. And to anyone who watches this, I'm here for you, man. You can leave a message in the comment, leave your email or contact information. We can talk. I'll share with you everything that I went through and how I handled it, and maybe we can exchange things and I learn things from you too. Hopefully it saves someone, man. And I just want y'all to know, man, there's hope. Just it's out there, And even if it doesn't exist, it might exist later on. Remicade was not a treatment for me when I first got diagnosed. Right? I didn't even know this shit existed, but here I am. All right, I didn't. It works for this, you know. Uh, Maybe when it stops working, something else will come out and it'll work for that too. I just have to hold on and weather the storm. So do you. So have a good one.